Hello, family and friends. How are you? Good morning and welcome to this beautiful day. And I welcome you to this Facebook live broadcast where we feel free to, share knowledge and spread it without fear or favor. Where we are free to speak about everything, no issue, no case. Nothing is too sensible for us to talk about so long it concerns us. And I encourage you to not give up. It's a fight because many of our people are already deep, very deep in this mess called religion, called lies, that they are accepted as the truth. But this morning I want to speak on African social living. African social living, the way Africans used to live before the foreign invasion, before the foreign religion, before all these evil people and evil things they brought to us in Africa. You see, it's not far-fetched. It's not something you have to go through a lot of trouble to know. Even your instinct will tell you that if you can reason, if you can use your brain to think, because it's in you. You're supposed to know that the truth is already in you. You are not seeking truth outside you. The truth outside you is not the truth you need. The truth you need is inside you already. So you have to activate your brain and begin to think. That's why you need to think. You think about what you have heard, what you have been taught, what you have been directed to do. You think about it. I'm okay, my dear. You're welcome. So when you're talking about African social living, many people has been against, as they say, socialism. They're against socialism. What is socialism? They think maybe it's taking somebody's stuff or taking somebody's thing by force. No. Socialism or social living is people coming together using whatever they have to help everyone among them. If you can, maybe those of you that believe in the Bible, which is not found among those who say they believe in Jesus of the Bible or those that say they believe in the Bible. In Acts chapter 4, right, it said that the believers, they were one together, having things in common. That's socialism. He said there was no needy person among them because those that have, he said people that have houses and land, they sold them and brought the money, laid them at the apostles' feet, who distributed to the people according to their need. So social living is a normal way of living. But the strange living or this evil living they brought in introduced many things that is not natural. It is not good for any of us. And we all has been suffering because of them. So let's think about it. Before the invasion of Africa, before the foreign religion came to Africa, Africans have no word for jail. Africans weren't building jail. So how did jail come about in Africa? The slave masters built jail or a cell where they were holding slaves. For the good ship Jesus, the slave trade Jesus, which they were using to convey the slaves they captured in Africa to many places in the world. So that's how jail came about in Africa. Africans weren't building any jail because they don't have their brothers and sisters to lock up. They have what is called family or elders discipline. They discipline themselves. If you misbehave, your family discipline you. Because the families are there to make sure you live well, you behave well. Why will you go to steal? Why will you go to steal from somebody else when you have a family? Even some of us experienced it when we were growing up. Those of us that are living after slavery. You see, you have your kindreds, you're hungry, even when your parents maybe they are not at home. You can go to your uncle's house or to your aunt's house or to, people that belong to your kindred, and they will give you food. Everything they go into the stream, you go with them and fetch water, all that. But these people came and brought jail. It's not a thing of Africa because Africans discipline themselves. They discipline their children right from childhood, and their children behave well. Okay, so also the foreigners brought that word orphanage to us. Because we don't have, there's no need for orphanage because there was no orphan that is homeless. Every orphan belongs to a family. Every child belongs to the family. You don't say, oh, that child belongs to my brother, then you don't know. If your brother died, that's why when a brother dies, his brother will marry his wife so that he continue in the family. But today, you see how they introduce this nonsense that destroyed African family. And some Africans think that African marriage is bondage, is slavery. And anyone that says such thing, I unfriend that person or brother. I don't want to have anything to do with such person because that person is cursing himself or herself. That person is speaking evil of himself or herself. And that person think he know what he's saying or she know what she's saying. Orphans. Today you have orphans. Even in our villages, orphans. People, their father, their mother die. You see them, they send them to become house help. A 6-year-old child is now a house help or housemaid, living as a maid in a stranger's family. Not even in a family of somebody that is related to him or her. A little child. You see the pictures they show on Facebook where a woman beat up the house help, all that. And you are shouting, yeah, you do the same thing if you have one in your house. There is why will a child go to another family that does not belong to his own family to live as a maid? They say, oh, they're paying for his school fees, all that nonsense. No orphanage because every child belonged to the family. No, our ancestors weren't thrown away children. They weren't throwing away the children that belongs to their brothers. Is these evil people that invaded Africa that caused all this orphanage in Africa, or orphans in Africa. Today you have somebody, a child, he has no father, he has no mother. Then he wander away, or maybe they like sold him away or threw him away. Some of them, when they survive, maybe make some way, they still say it's God. The God that failed to keep his parents alive. It's not any God. So every child belongs to the family. Africans don't throw away child. Africans don't play with their blood. So also, Africans never have what is called old people's home, senior home. No. Even if you don't have a child, if you are childless, a woman that is childless or a man that is childless still have family that cares for him. There must be somebody from your kindred that will say, okay, let my child live with you, to make sure until you die. They'll be taking care of you. But today, the thought of being childless has made many people to gone crazy or even die before their time. Nobody cares for them. Even today, if you think, okay, if I don't have baby, how will I? It's only like in America, if you don't, whether you have children or not, it's the same thing in America. There is always a nursing home or senior home where you will live. But in Africa, where many poor ones cannot afford such living, what happens? But they embrace what Christianity, Islam, or Judaism brought in Africa, which is not part of the way our ancestors used to live. Today you're talking about old people's home. I remember how I used to go to my, should I say my step grandma, because my grandfather from my mother's side married about more than one wife. Okay, so, and I was going to all of them. All of them, I call them unne. All of them are the same thing to me because we are family. I don't know what is called step, calling them step. No stepmother, no. All of them, I call them mothers. Even my aunts, my mother's sisters, I call them mother. In those days when I was growing up. But these people brought that. Now we have old people's home where they abandon their old age parents, or where they abandon their family members that are, I have to work, you have to take care of yourself, all that. So the modern way, which is foreign or strange way of living, has cost us a lot of heritage that we're supposed to be enjoying. The heritage we got from our ancestors, instead of us to develop it, we abandon them and following the strange way and think that is the right way. It is not. Also, it is foreigners that brought prostitution to Africa. Since a woman is a prostitute, it wasn't so in Africa, because Africans practice what is called polygyny. A man can marry multiple wives. If a man can marry multiple wives, there will be no woman being a prostitute. Even today, they say it's one man, one wife. You see how many prostitutes in the world. They have a house where you see it's all prostitutes. Even people that claim they're not prostitutes, maybe they're working out. They're prostitutes. The men are coming in for them, and they are doing that. So prostitution was a strange thing in Africa. Africa doing prostitution among them. Of course, you said there are many benefits of prostitution, instead of you going about sleeping, maybe having problem with maybe one woman or that, you just go and have one night, just short time with a prostitute, then you go and live your life. No, it's not the normal way of living. Why not marrying them? It's better to marry multiple wives than marry one wife and then you are going sleeping with harlots. It's better for a man to marry multiple wives. Whatever reason you have that make you to sleep with a prostitute, it's not good. Number one, you don't know what the prostitute have. You don't know how many people that have gone there. So, but when you marry multiple wives, of course, you said, oh, what if there are multiple wives that are sleeping around? No. The people, they also have a culture or a way that guard everybody. That a married woman, whether she's number 10 or number 20 or number 30, will not dare to sleep with another man. He said, how do you know? Okay. Every land have the way they handle that. And it worked for them. Also, it is foreigners or these strangers that brought homosexuality in Africa. Just as Africans have been practicing polygyny. Right? If a man can marry multiple wives, everybody is marrying opposite sex, not same sex. There will be no need for homosexuality. But these people that came, they sodomize our ancestors. They use it to humiliate a man and put fear in the young one or the other one that are looking. In the public, they naked a man and they have sex through his anus in the public, which is an abomination among Africans. Why would I be looking for a man for any sexual thing when there is a woman? I can never have such urge or whatever. You say, okay, what happened? What make people, because even when I was a Christian, I have preached on homosexuality. Prison or putting people in prison is one of the things that started homosexuality. When you put same-sex, all men, they are in cell or in prison, you lock them up. Of course, when they have sexual urge, they're going to look where to put it in. When they see their ass, okay, oh, you look like a woman, also have ass. They go there. They begin to touch themselves. They begin to fuck themselves because it's no woman around. Yesterday, I was sharing with somebody, that was Sunday, not yesterday, Sunday, I was sharing with somebody. So he was telling me the last time he went to prison and when he come out. I said, so when you came out, when you see, the first time you see a woman after you come out from that prison, how do you feel? He tell me. I said, yeah, I know what you're saying. So, but it's there when you lock same-sex people. Even it happens in you see some brothers and sisters having sex kids because their parents left them alone, home alone. So they were there, they start playing. Before you know it, they start touching each other. But you say it's demon, it's devil. It's not. It's all man-made. I'm talking about like a boy and a girl, brother and sister having sex. The parents don't know. Some of you have had it, but you cannot say it because you know it's an abomination. I don't want to say it. Home alone, just like people when you lock up people in jail, same sex, all men in jail. That's why go to jail today. You see that men rape their fellow men in jail. If they see you are strong, they can put sleeping pill in your food. You eat it, you sleep. You wake up, you see sperm in your ass. So homosexuality, because Africans were open. Why will you go to touch your fellow man when there are women? Even the goat you have in your house, we are raising goats in our family, except today everybody's chasing easy money or maybe oil money. But in those days, every family have goats that are training. You see, a he-goat will never mount another he-goat. If you try it, it will hunt it away. It must be a she-goat and the he-goat having sexual intercourse. And I've been saying that if you want to understand sex, look at the animals. So African social living is just a collective friendly family living, or way that Africans live together without living like animals, but living like human beings. It is the same foreigners that brought religion to Africa. Africans never have religion until these invaders came. You say, how about African spirituality? Yeah, people call it African spirituality because they did not understand that. You're going to say it's a spiritual thing. Whether you call it spiritual or religion is something you don't understand. That's why you're saying that. But religion is worship of invisible God. Africans weren't worshiping invisible God. A supernatural God you cannot see, but you worship Him. Africans were not doing that. That's why Africans were not building temples for worship. The purpose of building in those days, or what you call temple among Africans, were a place of learning. Where they go, they interact with those that they call like spiritual leaders that are telling them things about what is going on in their life or in the land. But it's not where they go worshiping one invisible God somewhere. No. Africa never forced anyone to believe in whatever God they believe. They never do that. Africans only acknowledge life of everything and of everyone. Africans believe there is life in there is life in the tree, there is life in the water, there is life. Africa acknowledge that. But they tell you they were worshiping the tree, they were worshiping the wood, the stone, they were worshiping the air, they were worshiping the sun. No, they acknowledge their effect to man or to us. They weren't worshiping them the way you are doing today. You say you are giving your money to a God you cannot see. You say you are praying to a God you cannot see. If you tell me Africans were praying to their ancestors, that makes sense. Because they believe their ancestors are interceding for them. Not any imaginary being or the ancestors, the ones they know. You said they make images. Of course, the image of somebody they know. Not image of Jesus they have not seen. Not image of Mary they have not seen. Not image of God they have not seen. The image of their own ancestors, the people they know. Africans also don't have God until these invaders came. They are the one that brought God in Africa. There is God in heaven. There is one God. No, Africa have what is called nature. Yeah, Onyenachi, that's what I want to say now. Nature is everything. Nature is everyone. That's what Africans know to be the truth, and that is the truth. Nature is the truth. It is strangers that brought the idea of creation or God. You say, no, our ancestors believe. You are talking about colonized history of Africa. It is somebody that came up with, oh no, there must be a God that created everything. No, African believe there are gods and goddesses. And those gods and goddesses are their ancestors. And they also are gods and goddesses. They live in one. It is foreigners that brought the issue. Okay, when you are talking about God, all right? Because when you hear God, you hear creator. And when you hear creator, you have to worship creator. That's what they made us to believe. And that creator, you cannot see that creator, which is silly. You know, if that creator is the one that created us, that have power enough to create us, that creator is supposed to be seen. He's supposed to show himself. That's how he can prove to be the creator, as they said, especially when they said he is almighty creator. So when you're talking about God, what Africans see as God, as where all of us came from, as the source of life, is nature. As Buchi said, Onyenachie, you and your God. Igbos, we said, Ofunne namu, manobu ofu Chineke. Ofunne namu, manobu ofu Chineke. In other words, your God is different from my God, although we have one mother. It's a belief. But the truth is this, we all are of human nature. And that's why I don't like using that word race. When you say we are one, there is no black race, there is no white race, it's only one human race. Race connotes competition. Race, what are you racing for? It's one nature. We all are one nature. Whether you are black or white, a man have penis and a woman have vagina, they do the same thing. The same thing. But it's when you come to race, that's when you say this one is black. Of course, you cannot be color blind when you're talking about race. But when you are talking about nature, no matter where you are found, regardless your color, regardless whatever you believe in, if you are a man, you have penis. If you are a woman, you have vagina. It's a natural thing. And when they come together, it's sweet. You cannot see a vagina and say, I am a white vagina. Or when you are having ancestral intercourse, you say, no, this one tastes like black vagina. No, they are this. Vagina is vagina. Penis is penis. That's nature. That is natural truth, which nobody can destroy. Also, these strangers are the one that brought divorce in Africa. Africans weren't having divorce as you see it today. How can you have divorce when the two families are involved? Because marriage was never between a man and a woman. No, marriage is between a family and a family. And you have to do pay many rights or do many things that when you remember them, you say, you know what? Instead of me to divorce, I'd rather marry more. Because if you divorce, you lose all that stuff. But somebody can still change. At least she's still around. She can still change, because sometimes people behave the way they never plan to behave. You see a woman or a man, this person love you, but maybe something happened, that person changed. But that's not the real person of that person. But instead of thinking of killing the woman or just chasing the woman away, Africans believe you marry another wife, so you live longer. See, now people are no longer living longer. Even when they say it's one man, one wife, they are not living long, because religion comes to kill. Religion is what brought out this divorce. One man, one wife is wickedness. When you say every man must be a man of one wife, no man can marry two wives. So if a man marry a woman that is bad, he will die there. Then if a woman marry a man that is bad, she will die there. No, that's wrong. In those days, if the man is bad and the woman already reported, the whole family know, both her family and the man's family. You know what will happen? Sometimes they take the woman from the man. I don't mean the woman's family that will take the woman. No, the man's family. Because the woman is now part of their family. She's not going back to her father's house. They will take the woman until they see the man change. But it's okay, how about the woman, she'll be having sex? Because today we have exalted sex that we think without sex you cannot survive. There's where the body of woman is made. A woman can live all her life without sex, unlike men. That's why I see a man, okay, no woman, he jack off because he have hand and the thing is out. It's not like the woman's own. And naturally, the way the woman's body moves, see, that's how you have to romance a woman to put her in the right mood or in the high mood for her to be ready for that. But a man, little thing, even little dream, a man have seen a woman in the dream, you see her penis erected, and he wanna go. So when families are involved, divorce will be impossible. But today you say it's one man, one wife. Okay, then you have to go. Your divorce is easy today. When I divorced, I didn't ask for the bride price I paid back. Ask for what? You go to court, you divorce, you go. That's it. That's where we are living in, and I practice that. Social living is humanity, not divinity. It is natural. It is not spirituality. It is something everyone, both young and old, can do. It is the normal way of living. Social living is unity, not division. Social living is compassion, not competition. Social living is love, not war. It is strangers that brought out this war we are hearing today, but before it was love. Even though there was issues among us. This is how our ancestors used to settle issues between like a town and another town. What they used to do is to maybe they go and kidnap the prince or princess or maybe somebody important from the other town, and hold that person hostage and saying until those people agree to peace talk or whatever. When they settle, they send the person back again, to his people or to her people. Africans never have the mind to go and wipe out a village because of anything. It is the strangers that came with that idea. For example, as we heard, when they preach Christ or Christianity to a town, they say, if you don't accept, we're going to kill all of you. That's where they say, repent or perish, or accept Christ or you die. And that's how the Christianity gained ground. And today you think, oh, Jesus is love. There is no power in Jesus unless you are delusional and believe in that name. You are the one that give power to the name of Jesus, you that believe in it. But the name of Jesus itself cannot do anything. It cannot heal you. It cannot help you. It cannot save you. Social living is brotherhood, not neighborhood. When we care for one another, You see brothers and friends, people that grow up, especially when they are of one kindred or when they live together. You say you want to marry, okay, they contribute, they support you to marry. Because they know you say this is the girl you love, you want to marry. They will not go behind you to sleep with her. No, they will know, and they'll be respected. They will start calling her your wife. Even though you haven't paid whatever, because maybe you are saving up money to go and see for your people, not you. You can't go to see maybe the woman or her people without your own people. But today, you say you want to marry somebody, it's hardly they ask you about your people. What they want to know, oh, you came with a car, or that they will say, okay, when your people can, they don't know you can bring any people as your people. Today, people go to Opi Weka and hire some tout, and they go pose like parents for somebody, because the parents objected against whoever you want to marry from somewhere you want to marry. Before, it wasn't like that. So they destroyed brotherhood among us and gave us neighborhood. Today, your brother is your neighbor. Your brother don't have money to build a house, is like a stranger to you, or maybe when he starts struggling, okay, he want to build his house, nobody is helping him, nobody, because he also is not helping anybody. He end up having an uncompleted building, because before he finish building it, okay, chiche, stress has made him, he enters depression and die before his time. If you go to our village, you see a lot of uncompleted building. There was no uncompleted building in our villages until these evil people came to Africa. Why will you have uncompleted building? When your people will help you to build, oh, you are of age now, the first thing you have to have your own house. Means of support. Then you talk about wife. But today you see somebody living in one room. Then he go and marry. A husband and wife, even in our African culture and tradition, never have one room. A wife must have her own room. The husband have his own room. But today, even when a woman is in her period, her husband is fucking her. It wasn't like that before. They taught us to be mean, even to ourselves, and we call it love. Social living is facts, not faith. When you say you are living by faith, you are living a fake life. But when you are living by facts, that's when you can treat others the way you treat yourself. Not the way you want them to treat you. You treat others the way you treat yourself. We won't be hurting each other. We won't be planning evil against each other. But you see today, because somebody don't believe in that silly faith you hold, you curse them. You wish them dead. You say they are going to hell. You hate them. When you see Christians say, oh, they don't kill. One stupid one, I think is from my town, he say, can you preach against Islam the way you are preaching? I say, maybe you are a stranger. Number one, I am not an ex-Muslim. I have been saying that. You can never see me now open Quran and begin to speak anything from Quran because I never read it. I read the Bible back and forth more than 10 times. I know the Bible like back of my hand, and I can use it to open your eyes if you love the truth. Social living makes you live by facts, not by faith. You prove it. You say, yes, this is what you have knowledge of faith, not just faith. Social living is truth, not belief. Social living is fruitfulness, not barrenness. When we live together, there will be no barrenness among us. There will be no barren person among us, because even if you don't have a child, your brother have one. It's a family. They today see how they will taunt you for not having a child, although they claim to worship God, and their God is love and Jesus cares for you. Social living is culture. A community of people living together, helping each other. It's not democracy. Democracy is one of the evil things they brought to us. They gave us party, division, democracy. See a brother fighting against brother just for a position, for a post. It's democracy that brought this issue of people fighting. Let me ask you, do you think our ancestors were having kings? As you think, what was the duty of a king? You think king was somebody that was ruling over all the people? No. A king was the head of all the warriors in town, and the king go at the direction of the elders. Elders are the one that rule the land. Elders, not the king, is the head of the warriors. When there is war, the king is the one that lead the warriors to war. You can still see that sense in your Bible because they copy it from our ancestors. But you think a king is somebody that sits and controls? No, we all are kings and queens. You don't need a king. When you're talking about king, it's not the way you see it today of somebody, ruling over others, while others are suffering and he's enjoying. He's living a great life. Others are living a poor life. Social living is culture that covers everyone in the town. Everyone participates in it and enjoys it. If one suffer, all of them suffer. If one enjoy, all of them enjoy. That's the way Africans were living before these strangers came. African social living is far better than any system on earth. For African is the original. African is the original. Do your own research to know the root, the origin of whatever system you say you look at them, even their building, they copy it from African social living. We were born to live together, love one another, caring for one another, and keeping each other. You don't say, I'm my brother's keeper. No, you keep your brothers, you keep your sisters. We were born to care, to live together, to keep each other in every human way possible. And I want you to understand that it is very possible and very, very beneficial to us to live humanly. Not all this godly they taught us, which is a lie. Not all this spiritually they taught us, which is a lie. Not all this divinely they taught us, which is a lie. Live humanly and see how sweet life is. Freedom is in humanity. We are the one that we set ourselves free from these evil religions, evil systems they brought to us. We still have the will and the power to restore our past. Our first and the last. We are first and the last. So whatever come in between, we still have power to suppress it. We still have power to rule over it because we were born to reign and to live humanly. Thank you. Peace.